Morning, as it is over here. Um, some interesting developments, which I thought would be interesting for people to have a look at when we're talking about drama cycle and how things develop over time. The last little episode seems a little bit convoluted and a little bit high. I don't know, high thinking of itself, but we'll call it the last episode. I put down the drama cycle looking at consequences. It's like, why don't people stand up to YouTubers? What happens when you stick your head up and you risk telling the truth and you upset the status quo? And one of the things, if you remember, that we had was this list of things which will happen to a person that stands up. And what are the tactics that are played to deflect from what the person is saying or try to stop them from saying what they're saying? And I'll just quickly read through those again. It's like, act, be a mouse, be a chicken, hide from the issue. People will hide from the issue. If you stand your ground, they'll yell at you. They'll try some sort of reverse logic to make you out to be the bad guy. They'll over-talk to stop an unwanted response. They'll deflect blame. They'll claim innocence. They'll chase sympathy. They'll say that they're trying and they're only human. So please, just let it go. Forgive them. Doesn't really matter the size of the fucking thing that they've done, but, just forgive them. If someone sees the point, which is they'll tend to get, bombarded in chat. And this is an interesting warning someone to stop, which I hadn't really thought that much about. But a funny thing happened the other day, which I'll go into. They'll do it like a what the fuck, and they'll just change the subject into something completely different, or they'll want to hug and make up. They'll make indirect threats for you to stop talking. They'll change the subject. They'll drop a shock statement to gain sympathy. They'll, wrench games will start coming into it. They'll try and derail the conversation. They'll be confused. They'll come at you with a fucking attitude, all right? So basically the game is for the host who's been questioned about their conduct to now get the focus onto the questioner's integrity. So you got down at the bottom right there. Now, I just said one of these things is warning somebody to stop, and I really hadn't considered that as being, that common. And I'm wondering if it is. So this is why I'm dropping this one. This isn't the conversation that I think that I'm going to drop in a while, but it may be tomorrow between myself and Bobby Joe. This is an interesting development, and I'm going to put this out here because I'm wondering if other people have actually had this experience but have shut down. So I'll take you through. We had the host organisation, and I was saying that this wrench belt in here is where the fucking zealots generally are, or even people just outside it who want to wrench. They want the favour of whoever is running the organisation. And we had an example with where Tommy had put out a story about Jason being out to get him arrested by Weld County, which was false. And Tommy put himself out there as being the victim, and either way, he either hadn't checked his facts, or he knew what he was doing, or he got conned by a couple of his close-in people that this was actually the truth, and he just ran with the story without checking his facts. Don't really care at this stage, but it was interesting watching that chat turn. And they obviously didn't, a few of them didn't particularly like Jason anyway, but what came out of that was pretty fucking disgusting, the way they just piled on. What a scumbag, plan failed, I'll fight Jason, that bitch boy. Actually, remember that KR one? That was KR saying that. My gut has always been right about people. That motherfucker got under my radar. Those are fucking wrench people that are supposed to be fucking moderators. Hardly sounds very moderating, does it? Just seems to be turning the heat up, pouring gasoline on. Then we got Proud Yakka. Also, fuck Jason, dude. Jason Flip Flops. Hearts in the chat for Tommy. We love you. I'll stand behind you. Wow, these people need to get a life, which is pretty fucking true, actually. And F. Austin, they need to get arrested and prosecuted. Okay, fair enough. So the heat's in there. We've got a YouTuber who's made an either knowingly or without checking his facts has just taken something on face value and accused someone of doing something that they haven't done. Turned up the heat on them. Interesting. And then I think, this was a point of what to look for. And this sort of related back to my situation, which is sort of under, I guess, play at the moment, which I guess brings us back to relevance. So what do you watch out with an untrustworthy leader? No comment on original questions about the leader's conduct. And we saw that the other night, and that will become very evident when I go through the chats that myself and another person had. Character attacks will start. Subtle suggestions that a person's character is doubtful, followed by a suggestions a person is hiding something or deleting something or is shady. Again, without fucking evidence. Or maybe a little piece of evidence, like a little shot from a conversation without the whole context of what's going on. Suggestions a person's previous life is somehow hiding some dirty secrets, suggestions of inappropriate DMs or creepy behaviour, and as I've said, worse than we've seen before, worst case, unfounded accusations of rape, sexual assault, and so on, which is, as I said, it was thrown at Tommy again, the person that I was talking about, unfairly, and that was, I don't know, disgusting that was thrown out there, in my view. Same with Kevin, accusations that have been made against him. And of course, the denigration of use of PowerPoint, which should be a criminal offence in my mind. So, what's happened? Now, I'm going to play something interesting. I've had a number of emails which came in on the 17th of, when was that? 17th of April. My time, which was, well, for you playing, it doesn't really matter when it was, in relation to other things, but I'll call that up now and I'll just read through those emails for you, which are kind of interesting. All right. So these are from a guy called Trent, who came into my inbox from my tele email, which is listed on my YouTube channel. And what I'm interested in knowing is whether anybody else has had the pleasure of coming across this character or recognises the word patterns, and whether or not you think this is like a credible threat, or whether or not it's, just where it's coming from. Bear with me for a minute here while I play the game. I'm going to step through these. I'll read them out. Okay. So first one from Trent. Oop. What don't you give me your personal information, fag, and I'll dox you. I was going to read it out in a fucking in a deep voice, a deep sinister voice. Don't underestimate my ability to get information. So I woke up and asked, why would you want to dox me? Have I upset you in some way? Trent comes back with, I can stop you. Would you like to know who Jeff's dead son is? Maybe the whole community would like to know, and your friends. Keep fucking around, Tilly, and you will find out. So there's the old, okay, so he's talking about Jeff's dead son. It's like, what's the relevance of that? Is that like, obviously that's important to Jeff, but the name of Jeff's deceased son is hardly any leverage point, I would have thought. And the old fuck around and find out, sort of hidden in that last line, is kind of interesting. So, okay, this guy's just brought kids into it. We don't bring kids into it, do we? Isn't that the general thing? And this is, bear in mind, this is coming in my emails. And I'm thinking, okay, is this guy fucking serious? Is this what, And I've sent these to a few people just to get there. It did fucking, knock me off my fucking base a little bit when I first came in. But let's just keep going. Now I've left purposely left the second one on because it says, or maybe some people in the community would love to know who, and then says FM's actual name, right, is who blah blah is, which is FM. And I'm sort of thinking, mate, that's hardly news. It's like everybody in the community pretty much knows what FM's real name is. So, I don't think you're that well informed. So then he goes on, let me elaborate. I'll drop the deep voice. Let me elaborate a bit on mind your own business. I could care less. It's I couldn't care less, loser, about you going after Tommy, all right, and everyone on Ed's side, but leave Nunya alone and honour what both of you said, that you'll keep each other's names out of each other's mouths. So they want the conflict to stop. And where else do we go? Let's put it this way. If I need to do what I need to do, you will know who I am. So have fun in your sandbox, Telly, and play nice. Keep the status quo flowing. Okay, so don't rock the boat, basically, and everything will be okay. Now, I'm thinking at this stage, okay, it seems a bit bloody obvious. If someone's just stirring the shit up, it seems too obvious that it's Nunya's fucking doing this to me. And so I don't think this is fucking something she'd do. Could it be Ed pretending to be one of Nunya's fucking insiders? Or could it be a third party? Or could it just be, like he goes on to elaborate a bit later, that it's some secret underground fucking mafia? So what's next? Now, at this stage, I'm thinking probably the best thing I can do is just keep this guy talking, and the more information I get, the more I'll get a sense of how serious it is. So I'm not saying that. Ignoring me is not going to make me go away, Tally. I know you're awake. And I was thinking the Dan Islander. It's the Dan Islander. Maybe it's him. Someone like that. Someone that's sort of not quite on the inside, but But then again, I looked at this, and this guy knows the difference between, your, and later on he spells their right, so it can't be him. And he goes, keep fucking around, faggot. There's going to be trouble. Money is no objection, Telly, you fucking rat bastard. Busted. Keep fucking around, faggot. So there's a fuck around and find out thing. There's going to be trouble. Money is no objection. Now, I've seen that in a chat recently. Someone wrote money is no objection. And I thought, no, it's money is no object. And I sort of went to correct it, and I decided against it because I didn't want to get into it. I can't remember where it was. So if anyone remembers that, just drop it in chat, because I think that's a bit of a tell. And I was thinking maybe it's because of that these obvious bloody errors. I'm thinking, is it Colfax? He's said that he's set me up on a number of occasions by misspelling words because he knows that I'm going to pick up on it and run with it. And, he's saying that I'm under his, he can control me that way and get me to do things. So I'm thinking maybe it's Colfax. Maybe he's playing an imbecile, with things like money is no objection, because obviously I'm going to pick up on that. And he would know that I'm going to pick up on that. But then there's something that happens later on with sort of, I think, no, it can't be Colfax. So, excuse the delays, but just got to let this run through. So I say back to him, wasn't ignoring you. I've been busy, and my gosh, you do seem angry. Because it seems pretty angry at the start of this, but as we talk, it sort of tones down. Then he starts to tell me the inner workings. Okay, the thing is, Telly, there are levels to this game. In just about everything, there is an underground movement, often far more extreme. So he's part of this extreme underground movement. You're just the surface part of this movement. We let you play your little moral superiority to all the peasants. All right, so there's a tip that I'm arrogant, but okay, we've kind of established that, unfortunately. I'm sure you are familiar with Steve Sitchell. Yes, very much so, if I recall. We took him out of the game when he decided to go too far. Just leave Nunya and Bobby Joe alone. Go make your PowerPoints about drama in the community. Okay, I've taken your advice and I'm doing that. Mr. PowerPoint, and all will be good. All right. So again, it just seems too bloody obvious that they're going for the Nunya Bobby Joe thing. I'm thinking, in fact, you can't be like close to them doing this. You're not that stupid, surely. Which makes me think it's got to be someone just that thinks that by pretending to be them, I'm going to go after them harder. It's going to be someone that doesn't really like them. That's what I'm sort of thinking. Or I'm thinking, is it some young person that just hasn't got a clue? Which can it be? And I've sent these around to a few people. A couple of people were quite alarmed by it. Say, oh, fucking, don't go there, don't do it. Because, the threats start coming in a little bit. So we got, and Telly, let me tell you another thing. You'd be surprised, too, who mingles where and their true character of some of the more prominent people in the community. It's kind of clumpy sort of English. Don't cry to anyone about it or some personal information someone else. So what he's threatening me with here is he's going to drop someone else's personal information. So don't cry to anyone about it or some personal information of someone else will be dropped under a Telly alt. Just to give you a taste. And yes, Telly, I can be very angry. I have ears on both sides, which most people do. Okay, so this is what I was saying the other day. If anyone sees any Telly alts around, they aren't me. The only Telly that I'm using is my Telly account, which is this channel. So if you see any other Telly, which people are more than welcome to do, just know that it isn't me. Okay. So we'll neutralize that one straight off for a young Trent. Okay, any Telly alts aren't me. Okay, so if someone's dropping personal information under not my name, it isn't fucking me. Or is that a double reverse? Now, am I actually doing this to set it up so that I can drop personal information under one of my, now thinking like Gomez. All right, let's just keep it simple. Okay, any other Tellys, it isn't me. Anyway, so go outside, Telly, and put another shrimp on the prawn, mate. It's actually put shrimp on the barbie. But do they know that? They're doing it deliberately wrong? Who knows? P.S. I would enjoy a good PowerPoint on Mr. Finnegan, mate. Signed, Trent and James. So Mr. Finnegan. Okay, that's put me back in JT Colfax because he calls it Finnegan, didn't he? Mr. Finnegan. So he's coming across as he likes Telly, doesn't like Telly. I mean, he likes Nunya and Bobby Joe. Doesn't like Ed, not real keen on CPP, Thomas Fellows. Okay, whether that's true or not, who knows? Maybe it's just a a laugh. Maybe it's a double reverse. I think is that the right terms? So where do we go from here? Okay, I've got to keep this guy on that lead. So here we go. I'm interested in why you are so defensive of Nunya and Bobby Joe. They seem largely irrelevant to me. I mean, what do they even do? We'll see if he picked up on that joke, but he sort of didn't. Which they are. I mean, Nunya and Bobby Joe in the scheme of this, drama, sure. But as far as the organised, the catching community, I'm sure they're both involved in that. But, and what the fuck was an underground movement going to be doing in the drama community? So Trent comes back at me with, where are we now? 20th of April. Telly, you are in no position to be asking questions. You have no control in this situation. You're playing our game by our rules. If you want this to get personal, it certainly can be. I don't think some of your colleagues, ex-colleagues, family, ex-wife, or teenage son would enjoy the extra attention. Anyways, Telly, behave. Signed, Trent. Okay, we talk about don't bring your kids into it. So, if you say something like, get off YouTube and go spend more time with your kid, that's considered bringing your kid into it in this fucking place. But we got this kind of shit going on behind the scenes. I wonder if any other people have been getting this. And see, the other thing I noticed is that I haven't seen Jason around for a while. I wonder whether he's been getting this kind of crap, these sorts of threats behind the scenes. Or are these other people that have left? I wonder if they've left because of this kind of thing. Okay, now, so what I want to know, I'm trying to work out whether this guy is dumb enough to tell me, okay, who it is, who can I go for, who he wants me to leave alone, so I can get a sense of where his allegiances are. Oh, excuse me, I keep yawning. So, being the good, compliant, fucking person that I am, thanks for tipping me off, Trent. Is there anyone else in this list you would like me to leave alone? So I come up, the top of my head, sort of main players: Bill Powell, Locke, Cap, TBS, Ryan, John Davis, Juniper, Laura P, Roots, Gomez, Clown Force, Chuckles, Meow, JT Colfax. Just so I'm very clear. And I didn't think he'd fucking answer this, to tell you the truth. But he did. Or she did. Because Trent could be a female. Seemed pretty aggressive to start with. It sort of backed off to be more polite. And then this is the answer, which is kind of, what you would expect from, a low-tier wannabe Nunyonite who's looking for, to protect the fucking leader, protect their friends, protect the people that they like, which is, understandable. It's just that the method is a little bit bloody out of kilter. And that's my whole thing about spreading false information and stirring up your bloody chat. And these losers like this Trent who want to protect someone. Anyway. Okay, so who do they pick to protect? Yes, keep Cap, Laura, and Clown out of it. That's okay. Everyone loves Laura. Cap, don't know, it seemed a bit of an odd choice. Clown, sort of clowns you'd think can stand on his own 2 feet, but there's an interesting thing in this. I know you are against Clown doxing Tommy Boy Studios, which I am, and I know you're close, which we are. We've been chat about things, quite funny. He's good to banter with. But if you plan on going after him, don't. Okay, I don't really have any plans to go after any of these people. But anyway, interesting. the situation is already fucked up. They're using his dead wife's pictures and her name, which they are, and it's fucking awful. And I think it should stop. Who the fuck are they? And just honour what you and Nanya agreed to. Yes, okay, we'll go into that later when I play the conversation. Personally, if I were you, I would take a little time off. Not going to tell you for how long to be gone, but I would lay low for a bit. So anyone else had these little threats? And what made me start thinking here was I haven't seen Jason for a while. I wonder whether he's got some of these and he's taken it seriously. There are some people that I myself cannot control, unfortunately, Telly, and things are pretty heated right now. Now, I know that, well, secondhand, I know that someone in this community has made this comment to Clown, saying, I can no longer protect you from people in the community. I've been stopping them from doing things to you. It's not like I'm threatening you. It's like I can no longer protect you from these mean people if you don't stop doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's like a distance bloody blackmail. And that person was Bill Powell talking to Clown. Same sort of little game here. Okay, so there are some people that I myself cannot control, unfortunately, Telly, and things are getting pretty heated now. And I seem to recall there was something a while ago from this. There was a threat that had come to Nanya. This came secondhand to me, that there was some shit that was going to go down with some doxing and so on, and which made me that sort of hit the back of my head. So I'm just wondering, this person is just a general shit stirrer that just finds a little, conflict and then starts playing this keep out of it sort of game. So let's put it this way. I'm probably one of the more nicer and more forgiving ones. I truly hate to weaponize information, but unfortunately, the internet is much like real life as well, often worse. A lot of stuff that is in plain sight in the world often goes unnoticed. Okay, very philosophical. So the person obviously, thinks and sees things. I guess in reality, both sides really aren't much different. They both have their dirty teams. So, but I'm not sure whether wasn't he in his own little secret society? All right. Come along, screenshots. I've already said too much, Telly. Be thankful I shared a bit of information with you. Have a good weekend, Trent. That's polite blackmailer, which is kind of nice. So we're picking up a little bit of a relationship here, which is good. Now, Trent, aren't you curious to know why me and Bobby Joe were discussing Nanya in the first place? So I want to see how much of he really knows. You might be interested to know that it was Bobby Joe that has been telling me that she is going to confront Nanya for shit Nanya has been doing over the past weeks. I have been telling Bobby Joe to drop it. Bobby Joe has had lots of understandable reasons why she hasn't done it. I didn't care, as in I didn't bother me that she hadn't confronted Nanya. That's what I mean by I didn't care. But when push comes to shove, Bobby Joe, finds a little chink and flips the script to make me the villain. So it's like over the last weeks, it's no, Nanya's the villain, and then something happens, and then as soon as there's like a possible chink in my performance, which if you line things up, there wasn't, but we'll come to that. Interestingly, from a psychological perspective, okay, so the script has been flipped so that I'm the villain, okay? And I think it's quite interesting from a psychological perspective, something to do with stressed people preserving the status quo, which was what he'd actually brought up further up, was like, it's providing the status quo, keeping things stable. People don't want to change. They don't want to reevaluate the relationships they got with other people. Do you honestly think I have no reason to be pissed at Nunya, as in angry, as pissed off? That it's just because she didn't answer me quickly enough, or that I'm jealous of Tommy? I said I'd be interested in your thoughts. Sleep well. So, we've been pretty polite, considering I'm getting threatened. Is it a threat? Is it a real threat? Who knows? I'm sort of starting to doubt it. Let's put it that way. But who knows? Could ring up my kids, could ring up my family, Telly, I will share some of my thoughts tomorrow. I just don't have the energy as I need to get ready for bed. Oh. Hearts in the chat for the sleepy blackmailer. It's late there. But Telly, you are now just learning about Nunya. It's not just the past few weeks. You would be surprised and appalled if you truly knew who some of the people are behind the doxing in the community. Don't know what that means. I guess what I'm trying to say is not everyone is who they say they are. No shit, Sherlock. It's like everyone's got alts, remember? It is not just John Davis and his crew. In fact, for the most part, tick, 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 tick. I'm not scrolling through this live. In fact, for the most part, John Davis and his crew have been neutralised. Spells neutralised with a Z. It's American, definitely. When Steve was taken out, they lost a lot of their steam. JD has moved to a new place. Has he? I don't know, new house or something? And is afraid to show any of this location. Okay. Obviously, it was kind of a collaborative effort to take them down for the betterment of the community. So he's working for the betterment of the community, whatever that is. Obviously, Warbot, even when he left, was a big part of the doxing. Okay, so definitely he doesn't like Warbot. I can tell you this, for a lot of the underground movement, Warbot and his goons is target number one. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. People are chomping at the bit to dox him and find his information. Yep, come on. That's pretty obvious. People don't like Warbot. He is causing a lot of damage in the community. All right. I can talk a bit about Bobby Joe and Nunya, but it will be in vague terms. Obviously, in exchange, I need you to keep this conversation between us. Okay, I'll do that. Everything between us. Otherwise, I will unfortunately have to dox some innocent in the community. All right, so by doing this, now he is going to dox some innocent in the community. That's the fucking threat. So the only way that I can save that innocent doxing is by not showing this. I don't know. What do you think, people? Should I show it or not? And I think this is where it comes back. He's going to do it under one of my alts. So FM, he might dox you, mate. Who fucking knows? Okay. I need you to keep this conversation between us, everything between us. Otherwise, I will unfortunately have to dox some innocent in the community. I can't be exposed, and you could consider me more of one of the more knowledgeable people of the underground scene of the community. So he's part of the underground scene of the community, and he's knowledgeable, but he thinks it's a flex to know FM's name and poor old Jeff's poor dead son's name. Don't know. I'm sort of not adding up for me. Just send me a message acknowledging that, please, and I will answer a few things. In fact, shoot me a few questions and I will get to them tomorrow. Sounds a bit lonely too, because he likes to chat. Good night. Signed, Trent. Okay, so I answer back. People are telling me about the... Okay, this was fucking on Saturday when I woke up after lock stream. People are telling me about the damage that has been done to my reputation by Nunya and Bobby Joe. Do you think I should just walk away and let that go unchallenged? And Trent says, there is a reason why Bobby Joe does not want to confront Nunya about it. About what? He doesn't fucking know. Or does he? But there's a reason. Bobby Joe, maybe you can elaborate a little bit on what Trent knows. If you know Trent, I'm guessing you don't have a bloody clue, but, you know, I think Trent's a big fat fucker sitting in his basement in a Spider-Man suit, to be honest. Some of it she told you, and some of it only a select few people know. And he's one of them. Unfortunately, Telly, I can't divulge much into it. I can't divulge much into it. That should be, I can't delve much into it, or I can't delve into it much. It risks putting me under a microscope. Okay, Trent, microscope's on you, buddy, because only a few people know some of the deeper things going on. So what kind of deeper things can be going on in a pred catching community, which is about decoying and catching preds? And, well, you know, and then just the little games that go on underneath that. Is it part of some deeper government conspiracy? Well, I hate these fucking conspiracy theorists, boys and girls. Okay, so because only a few people know some of the deeper things going on, and it would expose some of the underlying things that are going on in the community that some people don't want you to know or are too dark for the general community. All right, general community, it's getting dark for you. It's like need to know basis stuff that we're getting into here. So any of you that are, you know, scared, I suggest you you go and get a blanket for the rest of this and go and hide underneath it. So this, yeah, this, you can use this on your true crime. Try and work out who Trent is. Okay, I can tell you for a fact that Ed and Warbot have more than just Nunya's social security number. All right, Nunya knows it too. Okay, so I wonder if this guy's one of these, I don't know, second tier guys that gets invited into Zoom. Now I'm sort of back on this. Yeah, okay, he's a Nunya knight, but he's a wannabe one, and he's you know, trying to protect Nunya without her knowing. I don't think she fucking knows that this idiot's in my fucking DMs. I don't think that anyway. I'm sure some people will, but fucking I don't think that. It seems like some young wannabe, you know. Anyway. Okay, so it's Warbot and Ed have got more than just Nunya's social security number. Nunya knows it too. At least 2 or 3 other people in the community are waiting to be dropped if given the command. At least 2 or 3 other people in the community are waiting to be dropped if given the command. Okay, so Ed's just waiting for a fucking signal to drop. Ed and Warbot are just waiting for a signal to drop these 2 or 3 social security numbers, folks. That's what's going on. So there's also a lot of blackmail and extortion going on behind the scenes. Sorry, I have to be vague, Telly. I have to be vague because I'm fucking making it up as I'm going along, maybe. There is a reason why I was so pissed off and angry earlier. Okay, so he was pissed off and angry. Okay, there was a reason why I was so pissed off and angry earlier. Nunya and Bobby Joe have dirt on me too, and others that have more prominent roles in the community. Okay, that's an odd twist. And now he's sort of letting it know that, I don't know why, if they're mad at me, why the fuck are they going to drop dirt on you, Trent? That doesn't make any sense to me. So Nunya and Bobby Joe have dirt on me too, and others that have more prominent roles in the community. So okay, I can't necessarily say I am a saint per se. I'm not sure you say it. Do you spell it like that? Sometimes preserving the status quo, and we're back to preserving the status quo in personal relationships, which is what all this is fucking about. So I agree with the person on this. It's like, it's all about, you know, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I don't want to expose you, so you don't expose me, so that we all can be friends and support each other. And if somebody sticks their head up above the trenches, we need to fucking squash them down, okay? And this is one of the tactics they use to squash them down. Sometimes preserving the status quo in a personal relationship, no matter how wrong, is the only way to go about things, to keep things moving along until an opportunity opens up. So I think what Trent is saying is, okay, you let things go until you get the chance to go in and, you know, jump them, which is kind of what I think. Yeah, it gets a bit complicated to run away down that track. But okay, so it's like, just keep making notes about what people are doing, and then the opportunity is going to come where you can confront them and jump on them and, you know, deal with the situation. You can let all of the stuff that you collected go when that person is vulnerable. But sometimes it can take a long time for that opportunity to come up. Okay, yeah, that's, you know, I mean, that's pretty good observation, I think. I mean, Nunya and Bobby Joe have the resources and the support to damage. So it seems observational now. It seems observational, but you know, with that, you got to say, leaning towards Team Nunya and Bobby Joe. But, you know, I mean, it would be the kind of, I mean, again, it's like, I don't want to put a name in there, but you know what I mean. Those sort of wannabe sort of people that hang around and simp real hard, you know, like me, I guess. But I wouldn't do this directly. I can't think of really anyone that would do this directly. Anyway, Nunya and Bobby Joe have the resources and the support to damage your reputation. But obviously you still do have some support on this side. Okay, so again, you're saying this side is in Nunya's side, and your support from the other side is growing. So, well, I don't think my support is growing. It's just like, I think they're all enjoying seeing Nunya and Bobby Joe and myself fighting. I don't think I've necessarily got any more support. I just think it's people are enjoying the fight, which is, you know, a bit sad, but so be it. I know, Telly, it's a very shitty situation. It's like fighting with one hand tied behind your back, when your opponent can freely use both of theirs. Could you imagine trying to do this if you didn't have a channel? If you were getting this sort of thing and you didn't have a channel and you had to rely on the other side, like I had to go to Ed and go up on his panel and try and explain what was going on. Anyway, I know, Telly, it's a very situation. It's like fighting with one hand tied behind your back when your opponent can freely use both of theirs. I can tell you, if you do get doxed, it's not going to be Nunya or Bobby Joe, obviously. Okay, some people have to be squeaky clean. Not sure what that means. Let's not forget Nunya and Bobby Joe do work behind the scenes for the community, which I mean, I don't know about Bobby Joe actually. I know Nunya does, looks friends up and stuff. I mean, she came in as a karaoke person trying to grow her own channel, and but she certainly developed into looking Preds up. She's always, you know, dropping links and that kind of stuff. There's no doubt about that. No matter the other stuff, I can't walk away from that. Not sure what Bobby J does so much. See, people would know. It's not disparaging to her, but she seems to have work and so on. I don't know what she does behind the scenes. Trent's filling me in here. So let's just put it this way. Some people just have more secrets together. Again, good point. They've all got secrets together. They've all, got shared knowledge, and they don't want to walk away from that. They're not just going to drop all of that history and, those relationship ties just because some other person says, oh, hang on, Bobby J, there's something going on here with, it's like you're trying to overcome those bonds, which is, it's kind of interesting. I mean, it is a bit of a realization for me, because I've always been, it's like I am a face sitter, offense sitter. It's like I don't form these super strong bonds with people. I mean, I do, but not with a lot of people, only with a few people. So I will jump to another side if I find out some fucker's been lying to me. I'm not that loyal to the bond. Anyway, and that alone can make their personal relationship even stronger, even if for the wrong reasons. So a person obviously thinks about things. Does that answer some of your question, Telly? This is why I thought maybe it's a female, I was thinking. But the anger at the start didn't sort of fit a female. Does that answer some of your question? And Telly, I told you a lot more than I would have liked, so I have to dial up the pressure. There we go. Other than just doxing some innocent in the community. Okay. Does that answer some of your question? And Telly, I told you a lot more than I would have liked. So he has to turn up the pressure. Other than just doxing someone innocent in the community. I don't personally have your information, but I can get it if I wanted it. I know you personally don't care if you are doxed, but you have colleagues, family, an ex-wife, and a wonderful teenage son. It was Steve's undoing, if you recall, Telly. He didn't care if he got harassed, but his family was a different story, and I know you have a heart. Okay. So now I'm getting a little bit annoyed with this. Should you rattle the cages? I truly don't know, but I think if Bobby Joe and Nunya called you up to talk on panel, I think you're okay. No idea what he means by that. Personally, Telly, I would just lay low for a couple of days or a week or two and let things cool off for a bit. I know it's in your personality to ask questions, but just read the vibe if you can. No one, and one more thing, be leery of Cap. He's done some doxing under Alts. Now this is fucking weird, because further up, when I asked him who I should not go after, he said Cap, Laura, and Clown. And now he's warning me about Cap. Which is kind of odd. All right. Honestly, Telly, he is one of the biggest snakes in the community. It truly is kind of disgusting, some of the things. So this made me think, okay, JT Colfax again. This made me go back to this guy, JT Colfax doing it, but there's nothing about I don't know that. Because I know JT doesn't like Cap and thinks he's a bloody snake and so on. But there's stuff later on that, no, it's not Colfax. Honestly, Telly, he is one of the biggest snakes in the community. It truly is kind of disgusting, some of the things that go on behind the scenes, Telly, especially when a lot of them are supposedly adults. I guess I can't be one to judge. I am part of this problem. I've looked into people. Trent. I think we're getting close to the end, folks. So this started on the 17th. Now we're on the 20th. 3 days-ish. So, thanks, Trent. Really interesting explanation. You seem to be concerned about the best interests of the community. My question is, what do you mean by community? The drama community or the pred catching community in general? I'm really thankful you are taking the time to educate me about the underground workings. It is truly where the influential people are, because obviously that's what I'm after. If I stay quiet, could I ever take a seat at your table? Regards, T. So just keep piling it on and see whether the guy actually pegs to the fact that I'm just playing him along. Telly, we'll talk more on Monday or Tuesday and elaborate a bit more on the community. It is possible you can sit at the table. We'll see how it goes. Until then, enjoy the rest of your day, of your weekend. Trent, signed Trent. So here you go, folks. I might get a seat at the bloody influential secret table. Eh? Super, super, super secret fucking Slack. Because that power thing's okay. Now, some people will know what's going on here. Are you guys GCHQ cybersecurity or something? This is me asking Trent. Is that you lot? I got an email saying my activity was being monitored. It went to my spam folder. Talk later. Trent answers, I'm not sure with 100% certainty. I can't remember what that was about. It doesn't really matter. And then he says, I'm getting spooked. Do you want to switch to Proton Mail? I'd have to create one. All right. Are you using an Apple device? Have private relay on. If you're using Safari and accessing your email through the browser, no matter the service, it's encrypted. Okay. So that tells me it's definitely not JT Colfax, because he wouldn't have a clue about shit like that. So it isn't him. So Nunya and the Circle are not aware of this email. I can't confirm nor deny Telly. I have to keep my anonymity. Just let me know. Oh, it wants me to let him know if I want to change to Proton Mail or some other thing, because I've just got an email that this conversation is being monitored by UK cybersecurity, of all people. And then I sent him a copy of the email that I received, which said, amongst other things, under Article 6975-3, International Cybersecurity Cooperation Act, EU, Schengen, UK, you are hereby notified that your online activities, blah, 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 blah. So I sent that to him. And he replies, that's not me. I don't do computer stuff for Nunya. How strict are the monitoring laws in Sweden? Maybe certain words trip something off. We should probably switch communication up. We could use Telegram Messenger. It's secure, or another email, up to you. So it's definitely not Colfax, because Colfax, I mean, I could see him playing another character to try and suck me into something. But anyway, I asked him, you didn't get anything from them? Said GCHQ, check spam. And he says, no Telly, nothing in my spam or junk folder from GCHQ. Must be just me. Wonder why. You sure that's not your organisation? Anyway, you said before you guys had no problem if I went after Tommy Fellows, but it was going after Tommy that made Nunya get mad at me in the first place. She is Tommy's biggest supporter. You must know that. So we've got about 3 minutes left of this. Bear with me. Positive Telly, it's not me. Look, those that want to say it. Positive Tally, that's not me. Nunya isn't going to dox you for going after Tommy. You going after Tommy ended up opening other avenues that she doesn't care to venture into. So, Nunya, this person, Trent, seems to be your buddy. And I'm guessing you got no fucking idea who this fucker is. I'm just guessing it's somebody that hangs around and likes you. Okay. Like for you pressing her, looking into information on other people in the community. Obviously, she's going to defend Tommy. But let's be honest. Oh, excuse me. Going after Tommy turned into opening other cans of worms. Okay, so here we are. If Tommy hadn't fucking made up that story or been given a made-up story that Jason was trying to get him fucking arrested by Weld County, you and I wouldn't be sitting here having this fucking conversation now. Okay, but let's be honest. Going after Tommy turned into opening other cans of worms. If you get my drift, you ended up turning it into more than just Tommy and bringing up other grievances. Yeah, sure did. Can you talk about one thing while not veering off into another totally subject if you go after Tommy? So I think what he's suggesting is, like, if you can keep on track and just go after Tommy, that's all right, but don't go into other areas. And Trent says, personally, I like Tommy's style, but there's other things I don't like. Either way, he's not perfect, but he does good work for, I think this is the community. The community, you have my blessings to go after him if you like. Okay, thanks, Trent. So Trent says it's okay to go after Tommy. I know you could care less. It's not could care less. It's couldn't care less. But know from this side, your support and maybe some of your relationships might suffer because of it. So he's warning me that, you know, I might lose more support from fucking Nunya's side. And my relationships with those people would suffer because I'm, you know, because the truth is less important than the relationships. But we know that, we've established that, status quo. And yeah, feel it. I mean, everybody does. It's like, okay, am I going to speak up of this? Is it worth the fucking hassle of losing my, you know, chat buddies? I'll touch up more about your question about the community and pred catching community tomorrow or Tuesday. Trent. I was thinking that maybe, yeah, I was thinking maybe Nunya's James, but I think he's more informed than this. I think he can write as well. I think he'd be a bit more talented if he was doing this shit. Okay, then he says, Telly, I do have a question for you, Telly. What exactly is your end game here? The reason I ask is because this will affect not just Nunya and Bobby J, but the inner circle and yourself. Okay, so now we're getting to the matter. It's like, it's destabilizing. What I'm fucking doing is rocking the boat. It's organizational change stuff, okay? To be fair, as I told you, Ed Warbot, and I forgot to mention Bill, Bill, my mate Bill, the fucking flying gynecologist, comes into view. So to be fair, as I told you, Ed Warbot, and I forgot to mention Bill, has 3 social security numbers from this side. So, you know, I'm definitely getting the sense that it's, you know, it's a Nunya night. We have 0 and don't know Warbot's location. Even if we did have Warbot's location, they have 3 other people's social security numbers. It sucks that it's turned into weaponization of personal information. It is what it is, I guess. Who says it is what it is? Is that fairly common? We don't have a lot of leverage in this situation. This is just an all-round crazy situation for YouTube drama. The inner circle was formed out of necessity when Ed started getting dirty. So the inner circle. Now, is that Nunya's inner circle or is that his independent underground inner circle? Oh, fuck, who cares? Yes, anyway, the inner circle was formed out of the necessity when Ed started getting dirty. Okay. But anyways, I do have, this is fucking interesting, but anyways, I do have chores I need to finish up this Sunday. I do, but anyways, I do have chores I need to finish up this Sunday, so I'll get in contact in a day or two. Trent, that was very polite, isn't it? Who the fuck says chores? I do have chores to do. Sounds like a bloody kid to me, or someone very young. Don't know. What's your thoughts? Come along. Okay, we're starting to get to the end now. All right, so I'm picking up that there's these screenshots. Okay, I want to shut this shit down. So has Ed dropped the social security numbers yet? No, they're being used as leverage. And then I think, okay, let's fucking end this. I said, Trenton, I realize you are concerned about your friends and you are pretty young, but here are a few things you should consider before you do dumb shit like this again. You run the risk of trying this on the wrong person, and they will take their AK and go and blow away the people you are trying to protect. Okay, so imagine somebody who's fiery sort of person. It gets a bit scared by this, doesn't like the fact that somebody's threatening them. He's using fucking Nunya and Bobby Joe's name, and I'm fucking 99.9% sure that they got no fucking idea about this stuff. So what this loser is doing, you know, let's say this comes to, oh, it doesn't matter. Well, let's go back to the Tommy making his stupid allegations about Jason. And we know Jason's got guns. Let's say Jason's an absolute bloody Fruit Loop, which he isn't. And then he sees that chat turn on him like they did. And he was hurt by that. And let's say that he gets so hurt that he goes and gets his bloody weapons. Instead of going down there to punch Tommy in the nose in a fight that Tommy challenged him to. I mean, lucky for him that Jason was fairly reasonable and just likes to do MMA. And that he had a way and a channel to respond to him by, and to get his message across to people in the community. Well, let's say he didn't, and Tommy did that to him, and Jason just took his bloody gun and threw it in the back of the car and drove down there. That's the kind of shit that is going to happen around here. And when these fucking loose cannons like this idiot Trent start making threats to people. Anyway, so Trent, you run the risk of trying this on the wrong person, and they will take their AK and go and blow away the people you are trying to protect. Your activity is very traceable, which it fucking is. The other thing about it is your activity is illegal. Effectively, he's blackmailing people over the internet. That's what this fucker's trying to do, and he wants to be really fucking sure that he's got his bases fucking covered. Because, you know, if something goes wrong out of this, people are going to come and look for him. So here's how smart he is. He just told me that he told me his fear is the release of Nunya and 2 other social security numbers. So I countered his threat. I counter your threat to me by saying, if you come at me, I will simply get those publicly available, well, actually not publicly available, but I know that I can go and damn well and knock on fucking Warbot and Ed's door, and they will give me that information. I will simply get those publicly available social security numbers and release them under your name. I mean, who knows who fucking Trent really is? But You don't want that information out, so I'll put that information out to come back at you. So you leave my fucking family alone if you don't want those social security numbers out there. Would I do that? Don't know, Trent. You fucking work that out, mate. You have no idea what happened, and there is no way I am going to allow my reputation to be trashed. I'm looking at this from an interesting group dynamic perspective, which is the way he was doing it for a while, or she was doing it for a while, just looking at that, preserving the status quo within these, little groups, which is fine. Just don't make up fucking stories about people and don't try to smear people. Bobby J doesn't come across. This is about my upcoming release of the messages between me and Bobby J when we're discussing Nunya. I said Bobby J doesn't come across too badly, in my humble opinion. Nunya, on the other hand, isn't so clear. And I'm going to let the people decide what they think. I'm not going to influence it. I'm just going to put it out there and they can make their own determination. I appreciate your loyalty to these two or these people or his team or whoever, but some lessons need to be learned from this and there will be a cost to me. Okay, so it's going to damage me. I know that, but I'm prepared to do that. It's a dangerous game you are playing and somebody could get hurt. Go finish your chores. Trent, good night. So that was, when was that? It was Sunday. And he replied to that was, Telly, this is a battle you will not win. And I said, there is no battle. You have a nice day. And then he says, oh yes, that, oopsie doopsie. And he says, oh yes, there is. It's you that is uninformed. Your threats do not scare me. My threats. Okay. Now I've made a threat, so I'm the fucking bad guy, not countered this guy. And then I just watched Tommy Boy's stream and I thought, I wonder what he thinks of that. So that is that. My question is, amongst other things, is who do we think Trent is? And who cares? Is he Team Tommy? Seems unlikely, doesn't it? Because he's encouraging me to go after Tommy. So I don't think he's certainly not the upper. It doesn't make sense that he's fucking within Team Tommy that hard. Team Ed could be Team Ed trying to provoke me into doing the old reverse. What is it, game is? I can't think what it is. The double reverse. He's pretending to be someone from Ed's team pretending to be fucking Nunya's team. That's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like Team Nunya. I don't think it's Nunya's. I don't think it's Nunya. I don't think she'd be aware of it. It could be one of her, inner sort of blue band in there, the wrench belt, or somebody that wants to be a wrench. Could be. Again, it's all speculation. Got no fucking idea. Can't really tell. It could be just some independent troll that just watches things that goes on and just stirs up whenever they see an opportunity to stir up. I thought, I would put Colfax in that group, but it's not him. This person knows too much about technology to be Colfax. And I thought it was him because maybe those atrocious bloody grammatical errors and, he gets the sayings wrong, which is the kind of thing that I could see Colfax doing deliberately just to grab attention. But no, it's not Colfax. Could be me. Could be me just, yeah, there's a thought. It's just me. I'm just doing this, making up a fake conversation to make a point. Or it could be the actual bloody underground movement, couldn't it? So who the fuck knows? Do I take it seriously? What would you do? And I think really the question I'd like answered is if you go and have a look and think about things like money is no objection. I think that's the thing. I've seen that somewhere in the chat recently. Like I said, somebody said that, and I'll let it slide. So I'd be interested if someone can remember where that was said, and who said it. Who said it? Yeah, and whether anyone else has had these kind of emails. I think it'd be good just to shine a spotlight on them and let it be known that this kind of stuff is floating around in the background. And I just think it's fucking bullshit, to be honest. Time will tell. Maybe I'm provoking a fucking dox, and I will get a response out of somebody else that wants to make Trent look like he's responsible. When who the fuck knows? But this is the kind of shady shit that happens behind the scenes. And I'd be interested to know if anyone else has encountered these kind of emails. And maybe this is the reason why some people have gone off the scene, because they don't want information revealed about them or their families contacted by threats like this. Because there are some, people that used to be around that aren't around, or they're still sort of lurking in the background. They'll hit you up every now and again in emails and in Instagram DMs, in Instagram and so on. But they're not sort of prominent on it anymore. And you sort of think, why don't they want to be involved? I was talking briefly to one, and they said they didn't want their family involved. Yeah, kind of interesting. Well, or not, depending on your view. And that is it, really. And anyone that wants to use this or share it or have a chat about it, go for your life. See if you can work out who the mysterious Trent is. And if there's some information that maybe technically wise that I can get out of the email, I can drop the email address. What was that? And I'll just check to see whether I've had any more updates from young Trent. Maybe his mum, maybe making him make his bed or something. Nope, hasn't gotten back to me since that last exchange. And his email address was